Good morning. Welcome to Flat Earth Early Bird number 1633. I'm your host Arwin. And before I start the show, please don't forget to share it on any platform you deem fit. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That'd be much appreciated, and can still really use the support. Yeah, anyway. Right. Sorry, I'm really late. It's combination, but it's also because, well, it was just way too hot in here, so I kind of decided, like, it was around 12 o'clock, and I'm like, it's so hot in here, this is not doable. So I was just gonna go out for groceries, get all stocked up, and then be late. And, well, it's cooled off enough. I'm all set to go. And so here I am, but I am late and it's gonna be a short show. But tomorrow is gonna, of course, be weekend starting 2 p.m. And I'll probably, like, do a little longer show or something to make up for it. But I mean, if it's gonna be this hot like all week, I might have to like do 1 hour shows during the weekdays, because like between 1 and 10 to 2 it's just way too hot in here, and there's like not a lot of wind either. So anyway, that's the reason why I'm late. Hello Oz, first in chat, Jado, Richard G, Terra 306, good to see you all. Again, sorry I'm late. Right, so this is what the weather is like. Sunny, hot. Plants are enjoying it enough because I give them water all the time. Birds also need water refreshing a lot, because yeah, when it's just low wind like this, they're like getting really dried out quick. Alright, so it is a beautiful day, but yeah, I mean, it makes me wonder, when is it gonna rain again? I've looked at the water, like the little river that's beside this apartment, and it seems that the water level is going slightly lower. So it is, the heat is kind of wearing on the water levels everywhere. It's going to keep this hot. Eventually grass is going to dry out, I think. So I'm kind of hoping that, like Nathan had last week, we're going to have some kind of a storm here as well. I think that would be great for all the plants. Right. Yeah. There's some clouds out there, but they're just not very big. They're not gonna provide a lot of shade. Right. So hot summer's day. This Friday, the 16th of June 2023. Hello Slow-Mo Moonbuggy, good to see you. Groundhog. Uh-oh. Eating your pumpkins. Yeah, that's annoying. Do you have any cats? Any hunting cats? I mean, that could work. If they figure out that there is like a groundhog there, then they might like basically start sitting on that patch just waiting for it to pop up or something. I don't know. No cats anymore. Ah. A dog maybe? There's certain types of dogs that like to hunt mice and rats too. Huh. That is in like your bed is in a fire, right? Oof. Yeah, that's tough, Tarot. I mean, for me, it's kind of hot in the mornings too. And thus, I really try to go to bed earlier so that I don't have to be so cooked in the morning. People, yeah, Richard, that's like, yeah. Most cats are inside cats, but if you have a cat that literally like grew up on a farm, it's gonna be a very different type of cat. They had a lot of space to hunt, then they become different type of cats. Poodles are great. Huh. Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's interesting. Oz. Right. Cool and rainy here. Ooh, nice. Lucky you, Seeking Starwater. Good to see you, by the way. Dr. Utker, good to see you. Wow. Oh, everybody's got in here. Oh, I got a quick freezed Gusto energy drink. I'm very much looking forward. And an Illuminati croissant. But I'm a little too hot to eat it just yet. Like, I'm too hot to eat it. I did, like, get my salad bowl in, though. The rucola. I mean, that stuff is really good. That's like a discovery to me. 2 feral cats. The town animal? Ah. Yeah, that's too bad, slow-mo. So funny, like even taking just one sip of it, just like it opens my eyes up like that. It's awesome. Yeah, was it drag? Well, can't you just get a cat? Slow-mo? I mean, feral cats, it's kind of lucky to have them around, but I guess if you just get your own cat and you just kind of make it into a hunting cat, if you have enough room for that, like big enough garden and all that, you could do that. Hey, Flatter Sage, good to see you. I'm thinking about getting one. right, and depending on like, well, how wild the wildlife around is, you can even like get a pretty like a big cat, like ones that could really properly hunt and even like other predatory animals might not just like quickly kill it. So those big cats are pretty damn strong. I think it's like Scottish mountain cats or something. Those things can be like really freaking big, like big heads. I'm talking about savannah, maybe. No, we were talking about slow-mo moon buggies, pumpkins getting eaten by wombats, and that a cat would be great to have, like to basically sit around the pumpkins waiting for for them to come up so they could like dispatch them. £20. Yeah, those are the types. Ziggy. That's awesome. Feral cats are no joke. Yeah, I know, they're pretty savage. And it's pretty dangerous for like house cats to get into fights with feral cats too, because feral cats will actually like just freaking seriously wound them and shit. They are pretty dangerous. Like, you gotta be careful, very careful with feral cats. They're usually kind of full of parasites too. Yeah, Richard G. Yeah, no. In my old house, my mother's house, there were like crazy neighbors in the place, and they basically had cats and they would just let them breed wildly and uncontrolled, and they became feral, and those cats like messed up cats in the neighborhood too. And one of my, like the brother of my old cat that I had with me all my life, pretty much till died, the brother like got like a very serious wound in his tongue, I think, and apparently it got what they said was cat AIDS from it, and then it just became super skinny. And yeah, that was really terrible. But that happened also probably because of feral cats. Feral cats are freaking nasty. Noises they make are crazy. Yeah, well, that's what all cats make crazy. I mean, there's cat fights happening right outside here all the time at night. And there's like two competing cats here, right? The white cat and the big cyper. And they both come here for snacks. Usually at the same time too, and they really hate each other. And it's like very obvious to me that they're like trying to compete. So one will get food, and then the cyper is like really doesn't like the white one. The white one doesn't really care too much. It's like kind of an underdog. But the other one will get food and then like guard the place to make sure that the white cat doesn't also come in and get food. Seriously. And like that cyber cat, he hates it when he knows I'm trying to protect the white cat. Like, that's the only time he actually hisses at me. He never does that. It's only when he figures out I'm like trying to like send him away and let the white cat in. He really hates that. So yeah, it's weird. But sometimes you just see them fighting out there. On occasion, like the cyper like really corners him and just keeps him in there, and like I then like take a bucket of water or a glass of water and just like go on the roof and just throw it on him. And then it stops. Because he can be a real bully towards the white cat. That's right. Meow only against humans. Uh-huh. Although, I've seen like some female cats do also kind of meow to lure the males, and that sounds more similar to how they meow to people. It's just like that. That sound. That's a female trying to basically lure a male, and when you go that's a male. That's that really silly crazy sound. That's usually a male trying to be like, I'm a big male. Yeah, apparently that just really impresses the females. Cats are so silly. Try to assert dominance of my older cat. Yeah, of course. Right, but just having multiple cats per default is always gonna get messy unless they're like one litter. So they're like family. Then usually it doesn't get weird. Right, but anyway, yeah, a cat. I mean, if you're like even going slightly in the direction of farming and like doing that stuff, plants outside with crops, you're probably gonna want a cat or like a dog that like hunts rats and mold and such. It's very handy to have around. I mean, we had cats too, and that was very handy to a certain degree because we had a garden with like every conceivable fruit you can imagine. And without cats being around there, literal giant flocks of birds would just in the summer just descend and like eat all the cherries or like just damage all the berries. But because we had cats around that were usually like in the garden most of the summer, and because it was a great place with lots of shadow, I mean, our garden was a paradise. Oh, beautiful place. But I mean, if we didn't have cats, then we would just have like maybe a quarter of the harvest for everything because birds would just come in flocks and just trash the place. But if there were cats, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't just descend in flocks and do that. This crap in your container. Yep. Right, but that's... Yeah, but cats do that. Some usually... But usually if you yeah, you just gotta give them a, they will like usually start to pick a place which they like to do that, and then you can just turn it into the cat toilet, and it would be wise to then not just leave everything but also clean it up for him, and then he's gonna continue. Yeah, he's not gonna pick another spot because it's all full with turds. So, but I mean, yeah, it's like a litter box, and cats definitely prefer outside. A lot of them. It's also because it smells less. I mean, cats don't like the smell of cat piss and poo. They don't like that at all, right? Don't forget that. So outside, they don't have that as much. And that's why they typically go outside and do it in your garden. If you have one. Hang something reflective will keep birds away. Sometimes. I mean, especially when it's very sunny, that kind of works. But I mean, if it's like really clouded and all that, it doesn't really do much. I think that my parents tried that, but like like putting a rear view mirror on a string, hanging it from a branch in the middle of the cherry tree, and like they didn't give a shit. Eventually, the only thing that really worked was just putting giant nets over it, which was a hell of a job to do that. That was the only thing that could protect the cherries, but it's also because the cherry tree was like out of control big. It was like a really large tree. That was like, how big was that thing? Yeah, pretty much as tall as the tree, like in the lawn here right in front. It was kind of that big. And that one is pretty big. It's not as big as like a trees like those in the back. It's like 1/3 to half the size of those. But I mean, for a cherry tree, that's really freaking big. It definitely stuck out over the roofs. But it had a lot of cherries when it did that. But I mean, even to get them, we had to use ladders and all that. Hey, LSG, good to see you. Logical conclusion. Old CDs. Oh, that's interesting, logical conclusion. Well, in the time that we were actually living there, CDs weren't really old yet. I mean, by now it's like, yeah, old CDs and everything's digital. Back then, like up until 2006, CDs were the hot new thing, pretty much. They were only just getting standardized, so it's not like we had old DVDs. Now everybody has old DVDs. People barely even have DVD players anymore. Paint rocks red and put them in strawberry patch. Huh. That's interesting. Why exactly? Like, does that like encourage strawberries growing? I don't know, maybe it would. Or is it like a good distraction from birds that will just think, oh yeah, it might look like strawberries, but they're rocks? Because even when there aren't any strawberries, they'll go for those rocks and then notice they're rocks, and then they won't come anymore even when strawberries do pop up. That's a pretty clever trick, George Sanford. That if that really works. That's a pretty clever trick. I mean, you could even go as far as to like just not just red rocks, but even like big strawberry, like rocks that are literally shaped like and colored like strawberries, so they really look like big strawberries that are ripe. If you put those in between, then the birds will definitely think they're strawberries and then get really frustrated when it's rock. That might work. It's kind of funny too, because then when you pick strawberries, it's almost like Easter eggs. Like you'll be like, oh wait, that's a rock. Oh damn it, I thought I had a really big one. Oh no, that's a rock. That's a funny idea. I'll try to remember that. We used to grow strawberries, and yeah, my parents never thought of that, but the only real issues we had anyway weren't birds. They weren't really going after the strawberries. Usually the strawberries would be underneath the leaves. It would usually be like the snails that got to them. Because we had a lot of snails in that garden everywhere. You know, snails wouldn't crawl into bushes, but all the ground plants would definitely, all the fruits that grew directly on the ground, like strawberries, they would get it. Especially, well, it was usually only when it was like really wet. And it was. We had wet summers a lot. So. But yeah, that's an interesting idea. If you have like an excess of birds that are going around, like robbing the place, make props of the fruit in stone and just put them there so that whatever birds might come just get frustrated and notice like, oh, there's these fake fruits there. So they won't be inclined to come there anymore, even when there are real fruits, because they associate it with fake fruit being there. That's interesting. I'd love to try that out. Huh. Thanks for the tip, George Sanford. Yeah, exactly. It's like a huge bummer. Flatter Sage. Like, oh, they tricked me. And then they are like hating on that place for that. It's like, that's the place. That's like a grabbler place. You think you're gonna get fruits, but it's just stupid rocks. They try to trick me. And then in the meantime, there's just fruits growing in there, but it's like, no, they tricked me, so it's all rocks. Magpies steal food available? Yeah, well, when there's magpies around, you shouldn't like have platters of food unaccompanied in your garden. I agree. We had that too. Magpies are like really cheeky. Magpies are like the monkeys of the bird realm. It's just like coming like hee ha. Right. Oh, it's so much better now. It's like the sun stops hitting this wall and like it's like, oh. Right. But yeah, the show is very short because of that. I'm kind of sorry about that because I'd love to have a longer show. I mean, I'm feeling really good these last few days, thanks to the GTI hope and all that. And I'm like working with it, and it is progressing. And had a call with my friend from Nijmegen yesterday. Yeah, she was in a really bad mood, by the way. She was like really just like disappointed and full up with things. Happens sometimes. And then I try to cheer her up with like, hey, yeah, you're part of my GTI too. Did you know that? Do you remember? And like, it's working now. You might like have money all of a sudden in the future. Maybe something to look forward to. But it like completely deflected off her. She basically spent like an hour telling me why money didn't really matter even when she had it before. And it was like what are you doing? Like, why are you being a Debbie Downer? There's like really good news there, and she does have money issues. So it was weird that happened. But I mean, yeah, I eventually just like told her like, yeah, we've been talking for 3 hours, and like this is not a good direction to go when it's this late. So, but yeah, I'm not gonna be brought down like that. I mean, I don't feel like there's anything really anybody could say or to make it stop. I feel great. I have a lot of hope. And yeah, it's gonna work. It is gonna work. I feel it. I mean, I've never been this energized before. Like, never. I've been energized, and like, well, being in love like really energizes me, but that's different. But never has it been like this. I feel like that feeling you feel when you kind of know your life is just going to change for the better. That you're going to get something that you kind of gave up on a long time ago. Became very distant, and now suddenly it's back. So it's almost like, whoa, what happened? Am I continuing that journey again that I thought was never going to continue? Right. But anyway, in the meantime, I'm still needing support. I'm still on the edge of broke and shit. I got some food. I got some smokes. Tobacco is almost running out, though, but I mean, yeah, whatever. I could still use support. I know I've been like really trying to pull it out of you guys, but there is an end in sight. This time it's not like, oh, really need your money, and I'm sorry, I'm gonna need it every time, forever. Might need it for a while, but I mean, there's now definitely an end point. Blackbirds. Oh, what? Oh, those are kind of cheeky blackbirds. Blackbirds are usually like really... like... it's kind of skittish. Am I thinking of the same? Wow. Blackbird. Bird. I have to actually say bird after blackbird. Otherwise it won't recognize it. Okay. Right, yeah. Well, those birds here are like kind of skittish. They're always trying to hide, but then when you walk by, you immediately hear them because like they've become like kind of nervous that you're there. And even though they're barely visible, they don't just make nervous movements, which you make because of that you hear that they're there. They're weird birds. They're aggressive here? Wow, okay. They're not aggressive here at all. How odd. And the males are like one of the best singing birds ever. There's some of them here, and they sing amazing. Early morning. Yeah, and in the evening too. When the sun is setting and the sun is rising, that's when you really start to hear their song. Noise up? What? Make noise? But they don't really make no. Are you sure that's blackbirds? I mean, blackbirds aren't even really group birds like that. They usually hang around in couples. They don't really team up. What? You wanted to say, oh, Dr. Utker. How did it turn bad? What? What happened? Groups of 4. That's very... I've never heard of that, Richard G. I've never seen blackbirds go in groups. And there were a lot of blackbirds like around our house. Yeah, it's like my mother collected them or like drew them in. We really liked the blackbirds because of the singing. So we were always like the cats were like, yeah, they can do whatever they want, but don't hunt the blackbirds. And if we figured out there was a blackbird nest, then we would like guard that nest. It got molded. Ah, wasn't vacuum. What the hell? Don't care. That's so sad. Days. Wow. Yeah. Man, Dr. Utker, that's a real bummer, man. I would have really loved to get some fresh tobacco like that. Thank you for trying, though. Oh, by the way, Steamy Traveler's not here, but his package did actually get here. Although I was out for groceries when it came by, so it's now at a delivery point. So tomorrow I will have his package. I'm really curious what it is because it's like... it's 900 grams. So it's a pretty hefty package. I'm very curious what it is. He refuses to tell me. I have no idea what it is. What could be like almost a kilogram? I mean, really? Or maybe it's like a bottle of a liter of olive oil that he made from his own olives or something. I don't know. Ah, hey, Steamy Traveler. I said howdy. Oh, did you? It must. Oh yeah, you did. Ah, I missed it. Yeah, hi. But your package basically did arrive. But I just missed it. So I'll have it tomorrow. I'll unpack it tomorrow. Maybe it's the bit. Yeah. No, blackbird babies do make like... They're very noisy. And they make noise at every movement that's close to them. Unless it's a cat. . No olive oil. Oh, right. Fine. I'm just guessing. I mean, it's like, oh, it could be like a half liter or something bottle of olive oil. I don't know. Right, but yeah, I can't help it. I will try to keep guessing though. But anyway, tomorrow I'll have the package. Right. They were having a fit. Ravens? A fight? I mean, that happens though. I mean, I've seen like crows even like really go at one another. I haven't really seen a raven here though, but it's not really the territory. You have to go like further to like France to be able to spot ravens. They're kind of rare. Flying and screeching. Well, maybe they were upset about something. I mean, crows and ravens, probably even more, they have feelings. Did you know that? They have like internal feelings and all that, and sometimes they're like having a really bad day. And then they can be like very complaining. I've seen that with crows. Or some threat. The deer freaked out. What? Really, Oz? Did they like breed them or something? Because I thought ravens were like almost extinct in like the north of Europe. Huh. Maybe a bear. Okay. I don't know why ravens would be threatened by bears though. The queen's bird. Oh, right, they're specially bred. Okay, that makes sense, Oz. Yeah. Warning the dare. That's interesting. Yet, crows and ravens do sometimes do that, don't they? They like... Well, I think other birds probably also do that. That they like, hey, something is coming. And then they just make like an alarm noise. Right. Did any of you like see the Flat Earth debates yesterday? By the way, I mean it's been a nice conversation about all the birds and all that. It could just be a complete bird show if you guys want. But I did have some things like the Flat Earth debates was pretty interesting. that crazy guy Matthew came on again. And that was like the craziest thing ever. The guy is like clinically insane. You were there, right, Richard? I saw you in chat. Yeah. I mean, that guy is just really genuinely insane. Like, he is just not getting it. Like, even when he says it, he still doesn't get it. It was really freaky. Nathan had a field day with that. He was so busy, he didn't even let us in the panel. I had to wait like 20 minutes before he let me into the G+ panel. But yeah, it was a very interesting show, and he went to stream on for like endless, like past 6 again. So eventually I just like, yeah, this is a way too long. I don't want to do a live show past 6. That's just too much for me. Crows would eat the leftovers. Huh. That's very typical. Did you know that in medieval times, that when there was a lot of war going on, that like armies would literally be followed around by giant clouds of crows? The crows would like keep their distance until like actual war started happening, and like the people in the army would know like it's gonna happen because they could hear the crows getting excited in the sky. Serious. And then like battle ensues, carnage, and then as soon as it's over, it's like the crows just dive on there and start engorging on the barely dead. Pretty crazy, right? But it's also pretty freaky to realize that, well, crows have for a large part in history also been the eaters of human flesh from war. That's just a weird realization, right? How many creatures are out there that like eat human flesh that we're just okay having them around? It's weird. It's weird to think about that. But I mean, I think crows are pretty cool. And then again, you could say it of cats too. I mean, if you die and nobody finds out, the cats eat your face. It's like an infamous thing that tends to happen. So yeah, you could say the same thing for cats. And we still love them. What? Okay, Godzilla, interesting. It is kind of typical though. I mean, even me and my brother was 7 years older, we would continually be in opposition. It's almost like I believe in something. I bring it up and then find out afterward that of course my brother is not in that position and he's in opposition. Or my brother would like bring up something and I would be like, yeah, but I don't think of it like that at all. We would always get in opposition in arguments. And then eventually, like, my brother just didn't want to argue anymore. He just became very stoic about it. And I didn't. I became very expressive. So yeah, I mean, it's still going on. It's just... At least I think. I don't know what he's like. I mean, he has teenage kids now and all that. 2 boys. He might have changed a lot in all this time. I don't know. When they're teenaged, right? Well, then it's bound to happen with them as well. I mean, bickering and arguing with each other is like sparring too, except verbally and intellectually. So yeah, you would expect children to do that. Oh, what's that? Okay. Is this still running? Yeah. Alright. Yeah, my internet was gonna cut out. I was actually really early this time. Because there's like a set of symptoms that happen before that typically happens, and it's happened so many times. I mean, this type of internet interruption has happened since I started doing streams on YouTube. So I've seen it a lot, and I just know when it's gonna happen based on the preliminaries. Funny, isn't it? It's like little stalls. And then I look at how the lights on it flicker, and when they flicker in a certain way, or especially when they don't flicker certain lights in a certain way, then I know it's going to be that. Because it usually does turn into an internet interruption. It's not a router. George Sanford. It's not a router. It's an Intel link through the electricity net. And that's the thing that's having, like, interruption issues. Still very stable overall, though. I mean, I've been working with that same device, which cost me 12 euros for 8 years. Working fine. I'm very glad of it, that I don't have to use Wi-Fi or something like that just to get internet. That would suck. I avoid that pretty much at all costs. Low truth over comfort. Right, by the way, all those newcomers that have, like, only in the last few months subscribed to me, like, you have, I would recommend you also check out my main channel, which I haven't streamed on since I started streaming on this one. It's just Arwin. I'll link you up. Subscribe there, because in 11 days I'm gonna go back to that main account and continue the early bird show there. Wait, what is that? No, not watch. What the hell? What is wrong with this thing? Stupid keyboard. not whatever. Anyway, this is my main channel. Subscribe there if you haven't already. I mean, a lot of people active in chat, they already are. But yeah, I think around the 27th I'm gonna be back streaming on my main account, because that's when the strike periods are all over. But it's good to know, by the way, that I can just stream on this channel too, as a backup. I haven't had a single issue with it. So that's been a successful project. I just got this as a secondary account. Very good go-to point if I ever get some kind of strike again. Right. Hot. Oh, I still haven't touched my Illuminati croissant. That happened yesterday too. It's only after the show that I started eating it. Whatever. Internet is very primitive. Low band? Okay, seeking. I think internet over here in the Netherlands is going to be very fast. And I think they're even going with my recommendation that I gave to Cosmos. I don't know who the hell listened. I don't know who actually listens to my show. It would be very smart to listen, even though there's not a lot of like tangible backing sometimes about what I talk about, because it's literally like, yeah, it's coming from a place that I can see and you pretty much can't. Ethereal stuff, vision stuff. But yeah, they're expanding the internet capability in big parts of the city, and there's like new glass fiber cables, which is great, because it's like, yes, do that. That's fantastic. Like, do that and don't install fucking 5G everywhere. Yeah, fuck wireless. Let's do the cable. Cables. Cable. Excellent. New fresh cable. Perfect. Good speed internet. Very low energy cost to maintain that. Yeah, that's another advantage. Did you know that? Yeah, that a wired internet, which is like fiber optics, that's light based, right? Is like super energy efficient compared to wireless transfer of information. It's much more energy efficient. I mean, probably like factor 1,000. It's, yeah. What? 5G here at 5? What? Yeah. No, there wouldn't be 5G unless somebody installed a 5G tower. So Starlink SS, maybe good service of them. Sure. Not available here. Right, well, things like Starlink, they have a limited reach. Balloons can reach only so far, you know. Right, and they usually deploy them where there's going to be more interfacing and when it's going to be used more, and not in super remote locations unless there's like a project unrolling and that they need it. But I mean, a lot of the times you don't even need that. You just, I wonder, like, isn't it just cheaper to, instead of sending a balloon up, just like build a tower, which wouldn't have to be a mega tower. It wouldn't have to like cover half the country, but just a tower for that local region, even just temporary, right? Like a relay, and then you could like put it right on the top of a mountain, and then the valleys right beside it would have like perfect coverage. That would be pretty cool to have, like in a region, a remote region where there's like a little town. And it wouldn't even be like invasive, like on health, if you just have one of those towers there. Like a 3 or 4G style tower. Not 5G. Those things suck. They're super short range. Gone right next to my... Yeah. Now you don't want a radio tower right next to living quarters. That's not good. But you want to be around in long range. That's pretty cool. Thought you were talking about 5G. No, but yeah, 5G towers, that's like a neighborhood thing. That's those things, they install it like right in front of your house everywhere because they have super short range. They suck. It's a terrible system and it sucks energy. It's not even energy efficient. It's very un-energy efficient. Right? It's much more efficient to just have one tower that has a pretty good range. $200. Yeah, it sucks. The system really fucking sucks. It sucks so bad that this mass deployment like could only be considered like a industrial scam. Right? Produce massive amount, yeah, oh, big money, big production, yeah, but it's fucking useless. It's an industrial scam. 5G is an industrial scam. It's like a scheme to just get as much money out of the production of that shit when it's gonna suck. Right? It's kind of like, well, the green power industry, windmills. It's kind of the same thing. They just suck. It's an industrial scam. There's a huge amount of waste. It's, yeah, but I mean, yeah, producing them made those producers a lot of money. Yeah, but they suck. And they don't work. 5G range 1 to 3 miles? I don't know what you're talking about. That's not the 5G that we are talking about. Frankie goes to Bollywood. That's hilarious. No. Maybe you're talking about 6G. Frankie goes to Bollywood. I've never heard 5G be associated with 3 miles, ever. So, no. And dude, we were all getting hammered with information about that, like in the last 5 to 10 years. No, much more, 10 years. 5G was already in the attention, like when I was still with my ex. I knew about 5G being issues like in 2011. 6B would be shorter. I don't know if they would. Frankie goes to Bollywood. I don't know much about 6G. I don't know what it is like. I just know that 5G is super short range, requires a lot of energy to actually function, and that they also have patents on 5G systems to be able to use it militarily, secretly. Not that they have done that, but they could. They could literally, when having enough power available, pump giant amounts of power in them and then use them as local directed energy weapons. It's crazy, but it's literally possible. Like with the devices that they have deployed as 5G systems. It is physically possible. There's patents for it. To use those devices that they use to install 5G. There are patents to use them as directed energy weapons. Although you have to cook up enough juice, and that's going to be a lot. So it's not like just gonna take that from the power net. If we would do that for directed energy weapon, it would like black out the entire place. What are the patent numbers? I don't know. Dude, that's like information from frickin' 12 years ago. I didn't even have a YouTube account 12 years ago. I don't have any record of those videos. I just know I watched them and I saw presentations on them. I even saw presentations where I was in the room in a certain conference that I went to and where I also met David Icke. It was pretty cool. But there were presentations about 5G, very detailed. You can use a car as a weapon. Yeah, but cars are not patented for military deployment when they're civilian vehicles. Yeah, that's the difference. Wow, show is almost over. I can't believe how fast those 66 minutes went. It was kind of fun though, talking a lot about birds. And internet connections now. It's hilarious. Yeah, the difference though is that Ethernet cables are not patented to be able to use them as strangling devices. And neither have cars. Well, of course, cars do have military applications, but usually ramming is not a standard thing you do with cars, unless you modify them to have specific ramming scoops and all that, right? But the regular cars don't. However, 5G devices, the equipment that are part of its design, literally have patents on them for application for directed energy weapons. That's a big difference. Yeah, that's not like, oh yeah, you happen to. No, they have been tested and patented to be able to do that. Yeah, big difference. Existence of the patent means that, yeah, well, it means that that device is literally tested and confirmed to be capable of doing that on record. Yeah, a patent definitely means something. Are 5G military weapons? Well, they're not being used as military weapons, but they're definitely military weapon capable. Yes. Yes. The patent registers an idea. No. A tested application. A dual purpose. Right? It's not like, oh, you could also use this bottle to hit somebody over the head with. Yeah, well, that's like a sort of basic application. But, I mean, yeah, you could take a 5G device and literally hit somebody over the head with it. But that's not really in the same category, now is it? Most certainly not necessarily. Ooh, yeah, that's There's a lot of a little there, isn't it? Yeah, but the fact remains they are actually have the things that consist of 5G tower, have devices in them that have literally been used for military application. Fact. Register concepts. Well, I've seen a video where somebody actually did that. They did test 5G. And if you pumped in enough energy, it could literally just kill a plant. Sorry. I don't know what I'm doing. I know one thing though. I'm kicking you the fuck out because you're a gamma spaz. You're one of those. So, oh no, you don't spread rumors about the technology. Yeah, go fuck yourself, dude. Go fuck yourself. Yeah, nobody cares about your gamma whining. Because that's what you do. That's what you have been doing here. Whining, 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 whining. Seen what I've seen. Yeah, a patent is something, and 5G can do that. Fact. So I don't know what the issue is. I'm not even saying they are using it as that. I'm just saying they literally have the capability of doing that if you have enough energy to provide for the system. And that's a fact. Did you know Wi-Fi are considered light waves? That's hilarious. There's no waves though. I mean, radio is an extension of light. So if it's very fast radio, yeah, it's gonna kind of like become light again. So yes, I do know, Dr. Utker. And by the way, Wi-Fi is technically the same thing as 5G. Right? Except your modem, which probably has a standard Wi-Fi in it, because most modems do these days. Yeah, they don't have the capability though to be fed a lot of energy to become a directed energy weapon. No, you specifically need 5G towers to be able to do that, yeah? Because even though it is the same type of radiation, that doesn't mean that they are capable of being used as a directed energy weapon, unlike 5G towers. Yeah, that's the difference. Same type of radiation frequency system influence. One is used for military applications, potentially, the other isn't. FED? Yes, FED. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna round out. So, quick title. Yeah. Okay, what the hell is going on? Wow. YouTube was kind of spazzing out. Right, calling this show is for the birds, since the majority of it has been spent talking about birds. It was fun. So thank all of you guys for being part of this show. And thanks everyone for coming. I hope you liked this show. If you did, then please don't forget to Rogan's it up. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell notification so you know when I'm going live, which is normally 1 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekdays and 2 p.m. Amsterdam time in the weekend. And please also do support me through the PayPal and the Patreon. That would be much appreciated, and yeah, still very much needed. So please, if you can, still squeeze some money out through the PayPal. That would be great. Yeah, I got like another week to go, and then I'll be set for a while, for like a few weeks again. And eventually it will stop. Because GTI should at some point start to yield big time, right? Just like Sir Lancelot in the storming the castle scene. Yeah, it just seems like forever, but at some point suddenly it's right in front of you, like changing the scenery dramatically. So that could happen in like that. Anyway, I'll be back tomorrow with Flat Earth Early Bird number 1634 on a Saturday, so it's going to be 2 p.m. Amsterdam time, and probably an extended show to make up for being late a few times because of the heat. And of course I'm going to join the Flat Earth debates over at Nathan Oakley 9080 channel, which is already started up for like 7 minutes. Hope to see you there in the chat, and until the next video, keep it flat.